Citizenship is an alliance between an individual with a state, which is the individual owes loyalty to the state in turn of the protection. So the citizenship means the status of freedom with accompanying responsibility as the citizens receive certain rights, responsibilities, and duties, such as a political right, which is the responsible to choose or and vote for the public officer. So citizenship is the most important form of nationality as a protection when living abroad by the state that gives citizenship. Thus, each citizen will be protected and guaranteed by the constitution and the law that was made to prioritize the citizen in the country itself. So responsibility that was given to the citizen is related to the duty that was given by the ruler of the country, such as teachers, soldiers, legal officers. They need to be committed until a certain period of time that was determined by the state. So according to CL Global Partner, there are many types of citizenship that was practiced that being used all over the countries and been around for centuries as to receive the legal status of citizen. So first is family citizenship. So what people refer to is jus sanguinis. So jus sanguinis is one of the most common path for citizenship, which derived from the Latin phrase that means right of blood. So this describe an individual was born with parent or grandparent or other family members that is already a citizen of the state that they try to get the citizenship from. So this citizenship outright was offered by France, Greece, Italy, Japan, and Romania. So second, citizenship by birth or called as jus soli. So jus soli also phrase from Latin word that has meaning right of soil. So generally refer to the rule of granting citizenship to an individual that is born in the state. So however, this concept is not applying on every country. This law originated from United Kingdom, which referred to the born of nation to be subject of monarch. So there are only 30 nations all around the world that use this concept, including Dominica, Jamaica, and Saint Kitts and Nevis. Meanwhile, there's also a country that combine these two concepts into one model, such as Canada, Israel, or Greece, which offer citizenship to their one or both parent as well as their birth country. So third, citizenship by which is by marriage, or we call it just matrimony. So this is the simple one that they got married into an individual with citizenship. So which become common practice since it been introduced since the wake of the Second World War. However, rules differ across the world in how long the couple will need to be married before citizenship will be granted.
Now, I will be continuing with the issue regarding undocumented people in Sabah. There are several factors that contribute to this problem and issue, which are poverty, illegal immigrants, and sea nomads in Sabah. Poverty in Sabah, especially in rural areas, had contributing to undocumented people and stateless. The Malaysian government introduced identification card procedure after independence to verify that person was a permanent citizen of this country or not. It also recognized an individual's right to welfare, healthcare, and other government benefits. All Malaysians above the age of 12 must have a national identity card known as MyCard. Regardless of the government option for obtaining the necessary document, there are still numerous cases of undocumented people in Sabah, particularly in rural areas and border areas, where people felt it is impossible to go to the town. According to Felix and Modilo, households in rural area are often large. Parents may not have time or money. So they are aware to register and complete the necessary bureaucratic procedure to get the identification card when their children are above 12 years old. But they did not do so since their income are small. Therefore, poverty and lack of money in rural area can cause people to choose not to get the identification card due to the high cost to get to the city. So another issue is illegal immigrant. Immigrant also one of the factors that contribute to more undocumented people in Sabah. In Sabah, children often considered to be stateless, have connection to Malaysia with other country, usually Indonesia and Philippines. As a result, the status of children born in Sabah but classified as foreign by Malaysia authorities had become a question of whether they would be recognized as the nationality of Indonesia or the Philippines. So another factor is that contribute to stateless in Sabah is sea nomad like Sama di Laut. Sama di Laut, also known as Bajau Laut, are a migratory maritime people who live on the island, reef, and coast that now comprise the area where the territories of Eastern Borneo and the west coast of Sulawesi and the southern Philippines meet. They are undoubtedly can be regarded as some of the most discriminated against and marginalized people in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines, as they are mostly undocumented and at risk of becoming stateless. As nomadic people that live on houseboat and in temporary settlements in isolated and difficult to reach location, significant numbers of Sama di Laut children are not documented and they are excluded from mainstream society. Even when they are able to navigate the administrative and bureaucratic process of birth registration, the Sama di Laut have faced many obstacles in registering their children's birth, partly because they are commonly unable to prove that they have connection to the state with which they associate and consider non-citizen.
Thank you, Brother Shafiq. So I'm going to move to the next section with the solution. So the first one is local documentation program. So a baseline survey was conducted in Sabah to discover the problem of local population and immigrant to start a local documentation process. So the PAGOS trust team meet the local readers and form a network with a strong connection with the communities. So the survey found out that the village head in Kampung Simuno, for example, was aware the problem facing undocumented individuals and assisted and directed young people to monitor the process. So courtesy visit then paid to different government agency as well as the police department, the national registration department, the district office, the immigration department, the education department, and the hospital. This meeting were organized by official as a way to conveying the problem. So the security program of the Pagos Trust and the Asian Foundation started to paralegal training course to educate community members and help them become village paralegals. Paralegals is a person who carries legal responsibility following the action recommendation by lawyers. Their responsibilities including interviewing witness and dealing with the research question needed for the legal documents. So the punishment through this problem is in the late 20th century, the country embarked on a series of modernization project and experienced strong economic growth that led to a million of new jobs and necessities to recruit foreign labor. First in rural plantation, and later in construction and domestic service. So Sabah has experienced migration on a particularly large scale. So Malaysia laws and regulation concerning the employee of foreign workers have gradually been tightened, leading to an explosion of migrant illegality in the country. So undocumented migrant often come back to Malaysia after their removal, where they will be subject into the Section 36 of an Act that stated that they will be liable to a fine not exceeding 10,000 ringgit, to imprisoned for a long term not exceeding 5 years or to both, but also to whipping of no more than 6
So I
strokes.
will tell about the impact of those who do not have citizenship or legal document. So firstly is the person or community that do not have citizenship or legal document is not amounting or are not given human right to them. For example, as Malaysian government need to approve the registration of stateless children to school when they need to have the required documents such as birth certificate or letter to adopt a child or a court order, or to pay a small fee upon registration. So when those who do not have a legal document will fail to submit one of the required document, and then for stateless children, this means that education will remain a distant dream for them, and this is actually a bad impact on children who do not have valid document. Even they will be excluded from education, while they are the future generation who will lead a country or state. Next is community without citizenship and documented will experience hardship in life and economy. For example, I give that residents that living in Pulau or Sandakan Sabah, they have a poor standard of living. So when they are facing hard in life, this is in Sabah, it is common for them to have more than 2 family members to share a room, and then many households that do not have garbage collection services, and they had to dump garbage everywhere. Last but not least is the cost of health care for undocumented citizen in Malaysia is higher when the foreigner, including stateless communities without any necessary identification, need to pay for higher consultation and medical costs at local clinics or hospital. So this matter should be solved as the healthcare is very important for all humans to be healthy and to be in a good condition.
So, in conclusion, stateless on the ground in Malaysia is complicated, such as cases of long-term residence by people lacking either an effective nationality or by their life preference. Process on getting birth certificate does not take a lot of time or effort, with the lacking of transportation to reach the nearest city. So there is another this is another obstacle for the indigenous people, that as far as their documentation is concerned. So there are also another reason where the causes of the undocumented citizenship happen. Parents fail to register their children to the government that they live in the remote area, to make them almost impossible to reach any small city that they can do the government works. So illegal immigrants also worrisome to people in Malaysia, especially in Sabah, which is the immigrant from Indonesia and Philippines. Even though they live in Sabah for generations, their issue will be complicated to solve, because of their inconfirmed status of nationality. While Bajau people, sea nomad, they face where they unable to prove that they have connection to the state with they are considered as a non-citizen. However, this issue can be solved by action from the government that this gave a big impact on political landscape in Sabah. So action from UNHCR also can give this a big solution that they were the one that appointed by United Nations to manage people that are having trouble to register their birth certificate. So the collaboration from the government and UNHCR can make everything easier even though it will take a lot of time. So being registered as a citizen, many benefits that people can achieve because it will make things a lot easier to get employed and will have privilege in healthcare. That's all from us. Thank you.